Please understand there is no difference between creating dynamic content for ads or for social media content or organic content. All you need to keep in mind is the strategies that we use to come up with dynamic content is more important than trying to understand if it is for social media or if it is for paid ads. Now, the only difference that I would tell you is if you're doing it for social media or organic content or just for anything, in fact, this content can be used on your website, it can be used on your social media channels, it can be used on any other web properties or emailers that you may have. Dynamic content is just another format, a digital format of video. It depends upon the user or visitor's behaviors, browsing patterns, and purchase history. Now, on that note, when we speak about dynamic content, there has to be a certain structure. There has to be some sort of method to this madness. This session is all about understanding what are the stages in creating dynamic content. It is very important to keep in mind that dynamic content is not just something that you plug in and it happens. There is a structure to be followed. And if you pay close attention to your screens, this is going to be the series of steps one needs to follow when creating dynamic content. You have to remember, if there is no data being collected, if there is no element of data collection, dynamic content cannot exist because dynamic content is purely created on the basis of the data that is collected, because the data has to change, the video has to change based upon the user's behavioral patterns, purchase history, and other factors. Now, so that is the reason data collection is of prime importance when you start your dynamic video creation process. When we say, we're just going to say DVC or DVO, which means dynamic video content. So DVC cannot exist without data collection, and this data can be obtained from different sources, from your website data, from your CRM, from other native ad platforms if you're talking about paid advertising. So this data comes in from a lot of sources. Now, once the data comes in, you need to go ahead and profile your users, which in simple terms is to segment the audiences. Now, you need to understand what kind of audiences are coming in and what actions has to be taken for each of these category of audiences. For example, if you have like a 10,000 people email list in a CSV format, you need to understand how do you group them, because after you group them, you need to understand what kind of dynamic video content has to be shown to which category. So user profiling becomes very important, because the whole concept of DVC or dynamic video content is to go ahead and show dynamically very relevant videos which are very personalized to them. So if you can't group these people into segments, you're effectively sending one piece of video content to everybody, and it ruins the whole purpose. The third step is dynamic video template creation. When I say template, don't misunderstand that we are only going to be sending one templated video across. This dynamic video template is nothing but you will create a template which will have parameters or values that will be automatically replaced when the dynamic workflow kicks in. For example, if you have to create dynamic video content for 10 categories of people, you need to have 10 different placeholders or values that can be taken from a CSV file. So you need a template where you can have these placeholders which dynamically start picking data from the CSV files. Now, then you have automated video generation, where you will go ahead and according to the template, you will go ahead and execute the workflow automatically for how many ever people you have in a particular segment. The next thing is distribution, which means sending these videos out, whether you're either posting it on social media, you're sending it as an emailer, or it could also be pumped into your ad networks or ad inventory. Then you have feedback loop, without which no process in digital marketing, especially in today's day and age, is incomplete, because feedback loop, it collects all the information, all the observations that will be sent back to the iteration so that you minimize the errors with each flow. So taking one step ahead to understand what data collection means, the data collection that we're talking about for going ahead and creating dynamic video content is coming from either website interactions, it could also come from surveys and forms, it could also come from ad platforms, it could also come from your CRM systems. The next thing that we're talking about is user profiling. User profiling, there are a lot of tools that you can use to go ahead and segment your audiences, from HubSpot to Segment to, there are a lot of tools, Insight 7, there are a lot of tools which you can go ahead and use to go ahead and segment your audiences. Now, the next thing that we're talking about is creating a dynamic video template. Now, the dynamic video template can be used to go ahead and identifying what dynamic media elements have to be replaced when it is sent out to individual people. For example, if you're sending it to Mark from Ohio about a product that he has looked at, which is shoes, these are the dynamic elements that the tool has to pick up. Then you have automated video generation, which means the data that you have collected and the data that and the output that you would want to be generated has to be linked through a workflow. Now this, you can't sit and do it for 10,000 people. So you need to set up video workflows where the moment your CSV sheet is uploaded or your data file is uploaded, the tool will go ahead and take these and create independent videos based upon your workflow automatically. Now, once the videos are created, they're up for distribution. And as I said, this can either go for email campaigns. It can also be posted on social media. For all you know, it can also be going into ad networks, or it could also be sent back to your website and other properties. Right? Now once that is done, you need to go ahead and activate your feedback loop where you track your data, go ahead and make necessary changes, refine the data, identifying if something didn't work out, and then you will start making those changes. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you will go ahead and effectively create a seamless dynamic video content for the campaign at hand. Thank you so much. See you in the next session.